everybody, welcome back to my workshop and welcome back to my garage. Also welcome back to my next video in my Great Guitar Build Off 2022 scratch build. In this video today we're going to be talking about getting the guitar to this shape right here. As you can see, it's really starting to take shape. I've got the neck installed, I've got my bridge mounts routed, I've got my pickup cavities routed, and I'm ready to start doing shaping on the heel and then final sanding. So the video today is going to cover getting the neck installed into the body, getting my bridge locations marked, getting my bridge locations drilled, as well as getting my bridge pickup location set and drilled. So let's get rolling. So in preparation for putting the neck in, I've done a couple different things that I want to show you real quick before we actually get into gluing the neck in. First off, just checking to make sure that everything is straight. So basically what I've got here is I've just got a level set up. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up in the final video, but I've got a carpenter's level, laser level, and I've got it laid out, and I've got the center lines drawn on the body and on the neck, and I've got them lined up, and I don't know if you can see it, it's the green light going right down the center of the body, but it's going right down the center of the body, and then right down the center of the neck as well. I've got my location set up with tape on there so I can see where the centers are. So that's one way I've went about it to make sure that I'm straight. The other one is a manual check. The other way that I'm checking to make sure I'm straight is I have just the old-fashioned way. I've got a straight edge. I'm going to lay it on where my top mark is here, my center line mark, line it up with my center line mark at the base of my neck, and then press down on it, and it lines up with the center line mark at the base of the body. So that's telling me that my neck is in straight. Another thing I did, I dry clamped it all together and made sure that everything was straight, and what I did is I drilled 3 locator pins, brass locator pins, and put them in here. That way I've got corresponding holes in my neck heel, and when I go to glue this neck down, it'll go in, line up on those holes, and that way I know I'm straight even when I glue it. I know I'm not going to get any movement or slippage with the glue. Got this trick from Ben Crow. I seen him do it recently on one of his builds on his YouTube channel, that he put a couple guide pins in there to help align the neck. Thought it was a pretty good idea, especially given that with the tenon and everything on this, I want to make sure I get it right the first time. I did have a little bit of a router mishap when I was doing my plunges on the side here for my pickup cavities. The router kicked on me, chipped out a couple spots, but I went through and repaired them. It's going to be covered up by the pickup ring anyway, but basically I just glued some new walnut into place because it chipped out the walnut. This walnut's pretty chippy, but overall the repair came out really well. And it's never even going to be noticeable because it'll be under the pickup ring and part up under the neck where it chipped out a little bit in the channel here, and I fixed it. So no big deal. So let's get rolling and get this neck glued in. Also, I did a little bit of work on the tenon and on the sides to make sure the neck slides in not super easy, but not hard either. I want to have room for that glue to swell, because when I put the glue in there, if my tenon is too tight going in, once I put the glue in there, it's going to cause that wood to swell, and it's going to cause me a problem putting it in. So what I did is with chisels, I just shaved down the side of the tenon just a little bit, and made sure that it's a nice smooth fit, and basically it's a nice drop-in fit now. I'll show you. There we go. Still requires a little pressure to go in, but it doesn't require a lot. That way when the glue goes on and that glue swells, it's still going to have a nice mating surface to go, but I'm going to have room to push this down in there and allow that glue to stay in the joint and not press all the glue out. So it's time to get this neck glued up. Alright, so to glue this, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on both surfaces. I have cleaned these surfaces with naphtha to make sure that they're all clean and oil free. So I know that I'm going to get a good glue joint. Spread this around with my finger a little bit. I want to get some on the front here too. Alright, so we got it all spread out nice. Got a couple clamping calls set up. Only going to use 2 clamps on this. One across the top and then one in the cavity. There we go. There we go. Clean up these edges a little bit. Got good squeeze out all the way around, which is good. So now that the neck's in, I want to make sure I reestablish my center line on the body before I drill my bridge pickup location and my bridge location. The neck pickup location was already drilled in and routed in. I had to do that as part of getting the neck and everything done anyway. So that's pretty much where it is with what it is. But what I'm going to do now is just to reestablish the center line of the guitar. I'm going to take the straight edge. I'm going to lay it down the side of the neck. And I'm just going to trace that line. And I'll do it on the other side as well. And now it's just a matter of aligning the center with it, and I'll use my Incra right there. Okay. Got my new center line established, which is about maybe a 32nd of an inch off the seam, which probably means that this top slipped a little bit once I set that in there. So now what I want to do as well is I want to go ahead and get my scale length set. And I know I'm running a 24 3/4 inch scale. I've installed a nut at the top, so my ruler has something to go against. And I'm going to lay the ruler down the center, and I've got my center line established right there already. Just going to make sure that this is straight on the center line. Now what I can do is I can make sure that I get my bridge set location correctly. The treble side will be right at the scale, and the bass side will be a little bit further back, approximately an 1/8 inch further back. So it'll be angled slightly, and then the tail piece will come straight across the back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get my paper that I've already written down all my measurements for, that I know what I've got to have, so I can get my tail piece laid out and start looking at drilling these holes. Alright, so I've traced my other measurements in. I've got my bridge location, and I've taken it back 3 degrees on the base side, so I am about 1/8 of an inch further back where I want to be. My tail piece is going to be 42 millimeters from the center line of the bridge to the center line of my stop tail piece. So I've got that drawn in, so 42 millimeters. Yep, got that drawn in correctly. And then my bridge pickup is going to be a 1/2 inch from the center line of the bridge, the pickup route. So I'm going to come forward just a little bit. I'm going to come over to just there, and then I'm going to go ahead and, now that I've got my center line established and I know where my bridge pickup's going to be, I can get my template, and this way I can trace the outline of where it's going to be, and then I can get on the drill press. That way when I'm drilling my bridge mount holes, I can go ahead and use a Forstner bit and drill up my bridge pickup and make sure we're good to go from there. What I'm going to do now though is just quickly measure from the center line, make sure I'm good. So I'm centered there on the pickup, so I'll be ready to take that material out. Now what I can do is start setting my distances for my bridge and get those locations marked to get my bridge pins drilled. Center to center on the bridge is 73.5 millimeters from center of hole to center of hole. So what I've got is half of that is 36.75. So I've got that, and I've got from my center point on my bridge, and I'm just going to mark that. Then what I can do is I'm going to take my lock piece here, put it in each hole. That way I know I'm straight. And then I rotate this over to my 3-degree hole, or my place where it's a little bit further back off the center line, and I mark that location. Now for my stop tail piece, it is 82 millimeters from center to center on my stop tail piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set my calipers to 41, and then I know I've got my line already established from where I'm at here. So I'm going to establish my center. Mark there. And mark there. And again, just going to take my awl and punch this here. So now I have the locations marked for my bridge. So that's what we're going to do next, is go ahead and get these holes drilled out. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get my 1/4" holes drilled for the bridge. And I've got my depth stop set on the drill, so everything's good there. And I'm just using a 1/4" Forstner bit. And now for the second hole. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and drill the post for the holes for the stop tail piece. I want to go just over 1 inch deep, so I've got my depth gauge set at just over 1 inch. I'm lined up on the hole. Let's get this hole drilled. Okay, now I'm just going to start hogging out some material. What I need to do now is drill several holes. I've got to drill a hole from this bridge post into my control cavity so I can ground the bridge. I've got to drill holes from each pickup cavity into the slot that I routed in the front to accept the wires. And then I've got to drill a hole from the end of the channel, again, into the control cavity so I can thread the pickup wires. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm just starting out with a 1/8 inch drill bit first. And because that's the one that I'm going to need. That's the one that's going to start this hole here and drill it through. So what I want to do is just make sure I mark the hole location. That way my drill bit doesn't wander once it goes in there. There we go. And then I'm just going to take and have this card set on the back side here to hopefully not damage anything on the top. And I'm just going to drill slowly into my cavity. Made it through the cavity. Let's see where we came out at. Perfect. So again, I'm going to route here. I'm also going to do here. And then these holes I'll drill first with 1/8 inch and then I'll enlarge them. So we've got our holes drilled here for each of the pickup wires to come out of the cavities. We've got our hole drilled from our bridge plate or from our bridge stud into the control cavity, and then we've got the initial hole drilled from our control cavity or from the end of the wire harness into the control cavity. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. I really hope you've liked what you've seen in this video. Please click like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Take a look at the other competitors in the Great Guitar Build Off 2022. A lot of great builds being done out there. Until next time, take care.